Welcome back. I think you'll see at this point that we're always starting with the house prices V2. So you can almost preload this before you even get started. And I'm going to do my save and save this as version 6. And in this particular segment, we're going to talk about descriptive statistics. And the focus will be more on how to calculate these values. So I'm going to slide down to the bottom. And again, you can see that we have some room to work and still see some of the data and the titles. And I'll stay within price. Descriptive statistics work well for any kind of numeric data, but we're going to start moving towards, looking at things from a continuous variable point of view for price. Now, when you look at descriptive statistics, they give you another chapter to the story. And the first part of the next chapter is, we'll call it, where is the middle? And the first component of the middle is the mean. And the mean, there is no command in Excel for mean, it's simply the average. And here we know that the first row is price, and the last row is, or row 1 is price. So the data will start in row 2 or cell B2. And that will go down to the last row which we can see, which is B40. So there, notice as soon as I hit B40, it highlights that range of B2 to B40, and it gives us the average of the home prices, a little over 200,000. Now, I'd like it to be consistent with the values above, so I'm going to click the icon right here, which will add a decimal. I could have done that as we've done before by right-clicking Format Cells and changing the decimal. Trying to, again, show you different ways. Each time we go through this, get a little bit more skill and a little bit more skill. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, because a lot of these commands are pretty straightforward, is give you a nice tool that you can use later on, whereby I'm going to edit the formula in cell B44. I'm going to put an apostrophe in front of the equal sign. Now, what that does is turn that cell formula into a text box. And what I want to do is I'm going to take that and copy it and paste it into C44. Then I'm going to go back and take out that apostrophe so that now what I've got is this nice little diagnostic tool whereby I can see the value in B44 and the formula in C44. And I'll try and use this methodology where and whenever I can. It's a great way to see what formula you're looking for and doing some editing. So we've got the mean or the average, which is a great measure of the center, but this is real estate data. And as we saw in some of the histograms, there were some big houses out there. And the big houses at the end of the street sometimes, and this is probably typical of various neighborhoods, there's going to be, maybe 1, 2, or 3 houses out of 30 or 40 that might be a little bit on the larger size and the more expensive size. So we might want to look at the median. And if you're familiar with real estate, much of real estate is reported on median prices. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. So I want the median for B2.B40, just as we did for the mean. And we note that the median is only 187,000. We'll make the format consistent. And I'll go in just as I did before and copy, once I put an apostrophe in there, that formula into the cell next to it. And then I'll get rid of that apostrophe. And we're building this nice little, it's actually a good little study tool. So we've got the mean and the median. So the median shows us the halfway point. That is 50% of the data are above 186,000 and 50% are below. And because we have an odd number of houses, which was somewhat intentional, the exact middle, the 20th house in the data set, where there's 19 houses below and 19 houses above, the 20th house in the data set is actually priced at 186,800. If we had 40 houses in the data set, we would average the 19th and the 20th. Now, the next thing we'd normally calculate is the mode. And the mode tells us the most frequently occurring value in the data set. Well, in this case, I don't believe there are any two house prices that are the same to $100 level, which might make some sense. This is continuous data over a fairly large spectrum of prices. So when I calculate the mode for B2 to B40, I'm expecting an answer that doesn't exist. I can do the same apostrophe calculation, or manipulation, I should say, which I did not do right. Let me go back. Copy, paste, get rid of that apostrophe. Sorry, get rid of that apostrophe in B46. And so while it's perfectly valid to not have a mode, for some of the other columns, which you're more than welcome to try for practice, you may see things that have similar values, including possibly some on the lot size. Again, we're looking at the numeric data pretty much from column B to column C, G, the garage. G for garage. So there we have our measures of central tendency. I'm going to skip down a little bit and we'll talk about measures of variation next, but I'll break the video here.